It's time to get hyped because ReZero is back. Season 3 is finally here, and our knuckleheaded main character, Subaru, is back in action in all his glory. And for those that are fans of the series, it is time for love, death, and despair. Especially the despair, because Lord knows that ReZero itself has been nothing but despair over and over again. So yes, we are back in action and we get to see Subaru, someone that has his heart on his sleeve. You get what you get from Subaru. He does not hide anything. He doesn't hide his emotions. He loves what he loves. He hates what he hates. And he will definitely try to start a fight with whomever it is, no matter your status, no matter the timing or the place of it. I am with bated breath as we start yet another season of ReZero. Before we get started, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys are subscribed. Do not be a stranger here because we are looking forward to this brand new season that's coming out here. And if you want to check out the full reaction, it is on my Patreon. For those that don't know, the first episodes normally are free, so you can go check out the whole hour and a half of reactions over on the Patreon for free. And see if you had the same reactions I did at key moments, because it's definitely interesting. So I cannot believe that this one episode was an hour and a half long, but it did not disappoint. One thing I was worried about is it's been a moment since I've seen some ReZero, so I was definitely like, okay, do I need to catch up? Do I need to rewatch parts of season 2? Honestly, you do not have to. I mean, I will not stop anyone from rewatching a series, but I felt like this, in the time that they had on this episode, they definitely made sure that the key aspects and key moments that they caught you up on, especially one of the big things is the whole princess candidates and who is to come up next in the candidates. They made sure Otto was great about filling us in on, okay, here is the standings between all of the girls, and of course, who's their knights, who's with them, their parties, all of this. And I was surprised by the end of this episode. I was not expecting all of the girls, all of the candidates to be in one location. At first, they were talking about everyone's gonna be there except for Priscilla, but they kept bringing everyone back, and I was like, wait a minute. These are all the candidates in one spot. It's gonna be definitely a season to remember. As ReZero goes, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of despair, definitely gonna be a lot of dark moments at different moments in this season, so my body is ready. My body is ready. Now, I will say it felt like they pretty much touched on almost every character in this series. In this hour and a half, they made sure to touch on every single person, what they are doing, where they're going to probably be this season, who's probably going to be the ones that they're going to focus on. For example, Rem, I'm glad they brought her back, showing what has happened, because we've had a little bit of a time skip. It's been a year since the end of season 2. So in this year, our boy Subaru has actually been training. He's not as pathetic, I guess is the lack of a better term. He actually has some capabilities of movement. I mean, he had a training camp that he made, and he has a whip now. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that our boy's been doing. Now, what I was trying to get to as far as with Rem here, I'm sure a lot of people that have been watching ReZero remembers Rem's offer to Subaru, and I'm sure there's plenty that are still Team Rem, but you know, to see that she's still out of it after a whole year, I'm glad that they touched on later when he meets up with Anastasia, one of the princess candidates, to find out that she's been holding out some information about Gluttony, one of the members of the witches cult that have taken away Rem's memories. He's also taken away Crush's / Crucius, I apologize, I know I'm crucifying the name, but they've also taken away her memories. And of course, Anastasia has been giving tidbits of information to different people, as we saw in that one scene where Subaru was ticked off because he wants to know the information about Gluttony as well in order to help Rem. But it's also vital information for one of the princess candidates. So Anastasia is like, hey, you know what? I know you want this info, but I'm gonna give it to her because that is my bargaining chip. Which, yes, was foul, but as Subaru was getting mad, it's like, okay, I understand you're working like you're a you're trying to be like a merchant here, but yes, I am holding back my wrath because that is info I would like to have. But whether or not we actually get the point to where they actually fight against Gluttony this season, I hope they do, because it hurts to see Rem in this moment in time just bedbound, kind of like in a coma, sleeping, if you will, because of her memories are gone. I can't wait till they actually deal with Gluttony, so then that way this is back to normal. But besides Rem, let's just talk about the setting. The city that they're going to, of course, is this watery city that it literally, as Subaru said, oh, reminds me of Venice, which normally I would think so too, but then the city itself is in the lake, this huge lake. Is it only I that feels like this is a liability? Like, we know that there's gonna be a battle here at this city, okay? They've showed the previews, show that there's gonna be some fighting going on. But am I the only one that's like, of all the places to have said battles, it's gonna be a city that can technically go underwater, but is being controlled, the waterways themselves are being controlled like almost like a canal, if you will, to make sure that the city stays afloat and doesn't go under. And then also, as they go into the city, the canals, waterways are being controlled by one tower. Am I the only one that thinks that that's a problem? Like, a tower that you can see from anywhere controls everything. So what happens if it gets destroyed? I mean, hey, I don't know if that's actually gonna be something that happens sometime in this season, whether the city it just seems to me like this is the battleground that we know that's gonna happen. Doesn't this seem like it's gonna be a problem at some point? But I mean, we'll see how it all turns out, but definitely not the location. It feels like a trap more than anything. So with bated breath, I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen, but I'm kind of seeing the writing on the wall. Like, this seems like a bad location for our heroes / good guys to have battles in a city that could basically sink at any moment. But that's just me. Now, I'm glad to see that this episode wasn't all just kind of like filling information in / backstory, if you will, that there was actually there was one death that did happen here where we had Subaru get recalled. Now, I don't know about you guys, but seeing how this girl comes up, she's like, hey, I'm from the witches cult and I am Wrath. I would have noped on out of there. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Thanks for filling me in. I wouldn't have stayed there to listen to what she had to say. Now, granted, I fully believe that she has some type of hypnotic words, or maybe the more that she talked and the more people that were around to hear her, that she has some way of bewitching people. Because you see, after some time, everyone is conversing with her more and more, that as she has said, hey, is everyone's hearts as one? And of course, when she killed one person, killed everyone in the crowd. So I'm wondering, how does that power work? And I'm sure we'll get more information about that, seeing as how Subaru has a new save point, if you will, which that was kind of hilarious, that save point, because before he got recalled, one of the new characters, that is the singer, she's all sitting there like trying to infer to Subaru, says the words over again that Subaru needs to go and get them treats and such. And Subaru's like, is this a choose your own adventure book or something that needs my answer? Which at the time I thought, oh, hey, that's pretty funny. You know, I'm older, I know what a choose your adventure book is. But the fact that when he died, that was his callback was literally right there. I was like, oh, I see what they did there. Okay. Like I said, when she came up and she looks like this, I'm not stopping. It's like if you were in New York City and then someone in Times Square just kind of stands up, looks like this, and starts talking to people. yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking. I'm just like, you know what? I don't know what your deal is, but this is none of my concern here. Goodbye. Especially when she says she was from the witches cult, which we know anyone from the witches cult is not exactly, you know, a good guy. It's kind of hilarious that Subaru and all them just kind of stood there and was like, hey, I have a question. No, no questions. Leave. Overall, I think this is going to be a great season. The fact that they brought all these characters around, it feels like there's a lot of material that they can definitely bring out. The whole issue with Reinhardt and his whole family dynamic, to learn that Wilhelm is his grandfather, the fact that they killed the white whale actually has some lasting dynamic on the actual family. It wasn't just a little thing about them killing it. Even after so many episodes have passed since they've actually killed the white whale, it has a lasting effect on our characters. There's definitely going to be a lot of information to dig through as this season goes on. Not even getting to the whole princess stuff and Amelia trying to bring back Puck, and of course whatever else other side characters are going to have with issues like Garfield and maybe coming across his mother. I mean, there's a lot even to that. So for those that don't know, it seems like this season is going to be technically 16 episodes long. It's going to have 8 episodes at first for the first cur. Then it's going to be on break for about 8 weeks, and then another 8 weeks episode for the second cur. Kind of like how last season, season 2 was kind of split up. It looks like this season is going to be split up as well. That is what the plans seem to be for the time being. But all I know is I'm ready for it. I'm ready to sit back, relax, and feel the despair that will be ReZero, along with Amelia, Subaru, now Betty, and everyone else that's going to be there, because Lord knows that's what ReZero is all about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and make sure to check out the free episode on Patreon if you haven't already. I am looking forward to this season. I hope you guys are as well, because this is just the first of several anime that we're going to be discussing for this season. Make sure you're not a stranger. Make sure you guys to subscribe, because I would love to see you guys in the future. You guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.